Hello, welcome back to the channel. Today I'd like to show you Holiday, a 2009 61C. The 61C is a relatively infrequently built model. It's between the very popular 65 and 57. It has the advantage of having 3 staterooms with 3 full heads, and the master even has his and hers heads. So it's kind of the smallest boat that gets you those features typically found on a 70. This boat was purposely built to do some major inland cruising. So this customer wasn't focused on the Great Loop, but liked to go all the way up into Canada and back. Let me show you a few of these key features. So the first step to building a boat for inland cruising with a lot of bridges is to be able to lower your clearance. So the first thing we did was we mounted the light mast and things as low as we could. So I think we get under about a 25-foot bridge naturally. Then the next step is to make things fold up here. So this satellite dome folds, this entire radar assembly folds under, and now I clear 18.2. The bridge in Chicago for doing the Great Loop is I think 19.6, depending on the level of the lake. So this is certainly a Great Loop capable boat. Now this customer wanted to take it one step farther. He really liked to cruise in Lake Champlain up in New York, and there was a 15.5-foot bridge. Well, 15.5 feet somewhere down around here. So we did something very unique. This mechanism here, I'm not going to demonstrate it today because I'd have to take off the isinglass, but he only did it twice a year. So this is the kind of a safety prop rod. This gets unscrewed, and then you hit a button inside, and there's a big hydraulic cylinder right here, and this entire hardtop lowers down so that the inside of this hardtop sits right on top of that stid chair in there. And I clear 15.5 feet. So it has the advantage of being a hardtop boat, very comfortable boat for inland cruising, and you know, can handle any offshore passages as well. But really unique to have a boat of this size and of this caliber be capable of getting places that normally boats in this size range can't get to. Another really interesting thing he did was he has a conventional davit, which I'll show you. So we've got the normal davit where we launch the dinghy on one side. And the customer said, well, Bill, whenever I want to launch the dinghy, I need to get it in the water, but I want to be able to launch my scooter. So what we did, we have a special little tube here and an arm. There's a mechanism basically, because the dock is on this side, and we can pick up this Vespa and we can put it on the dock. So when he's inland cruising, launch the dinghy on one side, launch the Vespa on the other. Really smart thinking, purpose-built boat for a guy who knew exactly what he wanted. And if you're interested in like doing the loop and doing a lot of inland cruising, I think this boat is very unique and a really perfect fit for someone that wants to do that kind of work. Come on down below. All right, I thought I'd start in the master today, again, because it's really a key feature of this boat to have such a large master stateroom in a 61-foot boat. This is a full beam master. We're 18.5 feet wide. The customer would spend 7 to 8 months on the boat non-stop. So we built more than normal storage. We've got his and hers heads, lots of hanging locker space, and you'll notice that we've got things like marble on the floor. Boat's really been built for extended long-term cruising. This is Centerline King, and this is a high gloss teak interior. We've only done the high gloss teak interior a few times. It's particularly difficult because when you spray the high gloss, you still have to wet sand and buff it. So it's a lot of labor. We actually don't do it anymore. But it's a beautiful look. And we have opening port lights. These are called soji screens. So a lot of times you're in a marina and people can see right into your bedroom. But when you close these screens, it offers a lot of privacy but still lets some light in. So this is a nice large shower on Centerline. And I have his and hers heads on either side, so from your bathroom, you both have access to the same shower. So we're in the VIP now. Beautiful stateroom, nice large hanging lockers. Have overhead hatches that really open. They act as escape hatches as well. It's a queen size bed in here and a nice large head again with shower. So in many yachts, this central hallway between the staterooms can feel rather congested. One of the things we did to really open this up, because we know the stateroom's not always being used, is have this door open twice as wide. So when you come down the stairs and you see these two port lights, it feels much more spacious and open down here than in most boats. It's really a nice feature. And I have really nice wide bunks here. And then this stateroom has its own head and a separate stall shower. Again, very unique feature for this size boat. You won't find in 57s or smaller boats that have the his and hers heads with the third stateroom head and separate shower. So this is really the first boat in the series that's available with that feature. All right, we're at the lower helm now, and this has the original Raymarine electronics. It's dated, but it all works. If you're not a real electronics buff, it'll probably work fine for your journey. I found that if you stick within the brand, a lot of times you could upgrade these nav screens and not change out a lot of the other components. For example, if you go with the new Raymarine Axiom screen down here, it probably works with the radar and the depth finder and the autopilot and all the other things. So if you're considering doing an upgrade to some of these things and you stick within the brand, it'll save you a lot of money, and they all work adequately well. This boat has particularly high hours. I think we're at 6,800. I'll put that in the text below. But they're low RPM hours. So if you watch my video, I'll send a link below about engine hours and what it means. These inshore cruisers like this tend to go slow a lot. You can't make a huge wake when you're going through a little town. So they tend to run 9 knots, 8 knots a lot of the time. So that's more hours than if you were doing 20 knots, but it's actually less wear and tear on the engines. I personally ran this boat last week. It still does 24 knots like it did when it was new. It made 2,340 RPM. So great running boat with C18s. Really a nice boat. The engine hours are high. The generator hours aren't very high, which in Florida they tend to be similar. But for a guy that's going up into Canada, he doesn't need to run the generator all the time because he's got nice weather. And that was his stated goal. He said, Bill, my goal is to stay in 75-degree weather all year. And that's what this boat's been doing for the last decade. All right, now I'd like to show you the galley. This yacht was set up with sub-zero drawers. So we've got 4 sub-zero refrigerator drawers here. And then I have 2 sub-zero freezer drawers forwards for a total of 6 drawers. We did a 4-burner decor cooktop, really nice high-end cooktop. There are C-rails that attach here to hold the pots in position if you're trying to cook underway. And then in here we did a convection microwave. This could also be upgraded to an oven pretty simply. The electrical panel and everything's been designed to have a full-size oven here if you prefer. Really great cabinet space. You'll notice all the cabinets are fully finished. All the shelves are on little rubber O-rings to keep them from vibrating. This yacht is really set up for extended living on board, extended cruising. We did Frankie stainless steel sink, Growy faucet. This is a separate filtered water system on board. Really the perfect galley, and one of the main things I like about this galley up, my wife tells me when she's feeling seasick, if she can't see the horizon, it's much worse. So if you're trying to function on a rough day and you're in this galley and you can see out the front windows, most people feel much better than if you were down in a hole. All right, the salon is really spacious in this boat. You know, I've got room for 3 adults to sit here, certainly enough room to lay down. Like all the Marlows, there's under seating storage that's built in, so when you're doing a lot of cruising, there's tons of room here for your stuff. Nice big table. This table is actually a high-low table, so I can raise this table and eat at it. We decided to build a nice desk here. The salon's big enough that I really don't need a settee to be longer than 3 adults, so we had room to build this really nice desk. Actually has room for a real file drawer, so if you're still doing some work from the boat, this is a great setup. Large flat screen TV, and then my bar functions are all over here. So this lifts up right here, lets you see the sink here. And, this is all glass storage in here, so I've got room to store all my glassware right there. And then of course the bar wouldn't be complete without a nice refrigerator and ice maker. This area here is open right now. They had some older chairs on here. But there's room for 2 nice barrel chairs or lounge chairs of some type, and maybe a little table in between them. But I encourage you to come see this boat. It's very spacious for a 61, and with the 18.5-foot beam, it just feels much bigger than you would think. Let's go down to the engine room and see the engine crew area. Sorry about the background noise. That background noise is actually the AC chillers running and the chiller pump. And the reason you didn't hear any AC running in the rest of the boat was because in the Marlows with the chilled water system, all that noise is down here. So it's really a great setup. All that's in the rest of the boat are fans and air handlers that just blow air over a cool coil that's kind of like a radiator. And all the noise is down here in the engine room, so you really don't hear it in any living space in the boat. Much superior system than what you might be used to in a smaller boat. Again, these are C18s, pretty new exhaust blankets. This owner was very meticulous with maintenance. Boat runs great. It's a stand-up engine room. It's got a water maker, nice big generator. Your water maker filters are right here, so it's easy to access. Why that light's on. My AC chillers are over here, and those are what make the cold water for the chilled water system. You can see this tub right here. That's for a 50 amp cord on the stern. There's another 50 amp cord tub right there. So I have 2 cable masters. So I usually run 2 cords here in Florida, where I have one for the house and one for the air conditioning. Now if you go up north like this gentleman did, you only need 1 cord most of the time if you don't need air conditioning. Okay, this is my fuel system forward. So I have dual ray cores for each engine and for the generator. I have a glass sight tube here so I can see the actual fuel level. Of course there's a gauge at the helm that tells me what we think the fuel level is, but what's great about the glass sight tube is I can see exactly how much fuel is in the tank. This is a 1,780 gallon tank, one single tank. I can fill this tank from either side of the boat. This boat gets 1 mile a gallon at about 8.3 knots, so I've got an easy 1,500, 1600 mile range down around 8 knots. And I would say I'm burning about 1.5 gallons a mile at just under 10. So probably a 1,000 mile range doing 9 point something. So really an exceptional capability in this yacht. Well, thank you very much, and if you'd like more information about the boat, it's right outside my office, and I'd be happy to come check on things for you, do a private FaceTime video. We're at Sneed Island, Florida, which is just south of Tampa. Please feel free to contact me anytime.